Today I've got a few tips that might help make living with the DJI Ronin-S a bit more bearable. Now this gimbal, I really love it, but I'm no gimbal guru or expert or anything like that. This is the first gimbal I've had, and I've only had it for a few months this year, and I've tried to get out and practice with it and learn about using this thing, learn how to make the best use of it. But there's some things about it that are really annoying, and the biggest thing of all is the fact that it's so fiddly to set it up. When you have to break it down and put it in the case and then pop it back out and you're trying to get set up and capture a moment, or maybe you're on a job or something, it's just not very efficient. So the one thing that I've heard people talk about doing is making marks on the little scales that you get, little rulers that are on the thing, that will help them see where to set it back up when they need to take it down, break it down, put it in the case, and then break it back out and put the camera on it. Now, that's really helpful, I think, if you're always using the same camera, but what I think is more likely is that you're going to have more than one set of lenses. Everything you change on your camera is going to change the balance on this thing. So what I've started doing is collecting a series of photographs. I'll just take pictures with my phone of every setting for every axis on this thing, and I store them in folders that just say which camera and which lens were used and whether or not the screen was flipped out. Like I use the GH5, which is what I'm filming on right now, most of the time when I use this, and I have to, say whether or not the screen was flipped out or not, because that changes the balance, and whether or not the cable was attached, because this little thing will change the balance as well. So anything like that, you want to make those notes, but keep folders that just have a set of photographs of every little axis that you've got, and that way it still takes a little time to slide the thing back into place, but it's a lot better than hunting and sliding it back and forth and checking it and going over and over again. If you take photographs of these and get real precise with your shots, they don't have to be great pictures, just something where you can really tell for sure exactly what line each little axis was on, and you store those, then all you got to do is just slide it right back there, lock it down, put the camera on it, and you're ready to go. Now the next thing I wanted to talk about here is that I like to put this little quick release plate. Now I use these Manfrotto, I think they're 200, maybe it's 200 PL or something like that. These little quick release plates, I like to use these on my tripod heads and monopod heads and things like that. So it's a really good idea to attach one to the long plate that fastens to the Ronin-S, and that way it's really easy. Now this isn't what this is currently balanced for, but just for example, it's easy to put your camera on there, lock it down, you're ready to go, and if you need to take the camera off, you just do this and you're ready to go somewhere else, so, or swap to a different camera. And you don't have to keep sliding the plate back out, because when you slide this plate, you end up having to reposition it all over again, because then the balance has been lost. So I got this idea from a Peter Lindgren video, and the little quick release adapter is the Manfrotto 323 quick release adapter, and the plate that fits it is the 200 PL. Of course it comes with one, but if you have these and you have other Manfrotto fluid heads or tripod heads or monopod heads and so on, it's the same, that same little plate will fit a variety of different mounts, and then your camera can just kind of quickly come from those particular positions to your Ronin-S without any trouble, and you don't have to slide that ridiculous long plate on and off over and over again and then recenter the whole thing and balance it all over again. So anyway, that's one of my favorite ways to speed up the setup. Now another thing that I've noticed about these is that sometimes it's easy to not notice which way these little tabs are turned once you've set the axis and kind of tightened it down. So notice that you can pull them out and they pop back in, so you can reposition these little thumb screw things all in different places when you need to. Now one thing I've noticed is if I have a Rode mic, Rode video mic on the GH5 while it's mounted on this, which I don't always do, but if I do that, then the cable sometimes, if you go into flashlight mode, would hook on that little tab. So you got to be careful If you need to, turn it away from the camera, whichever way that it won't hook, and also make sure that it's not turned in such a way that some part of the camera or screen will actually hit that little thumb tab that pokes out. So anyway, this is a couple of quick tips that hopefully will help you if you've got the Ronin-S, if you haven't thought of these already. And if you've got some ideas that help make this thing easier to deal with, I'd definitely like to hear it. So leave them in the comments, leave your questions in the comments, click like, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next video soon. Oh, I almost forgot my last tip. Make sure you keep it updated because they add functionality and creative features to it on occasion. So it's really cool to see what's in there. You never know what's going to happen and how it's going to inspire you in the future. So anyway, that's it. See you later.